having safe, healthy food that you know where it comes from. And I don't know that there's anything that kind of brings people in and helps us bring resilience and independent community, family, environments all facing together is really, helps us build traction.
The Food Sovereignty Prize ceremony opens space for the US FSA to publicly challenge the industrial agribusiness, specifically the World Food Prize. Awarding the Food Sovereignty Prize enables the organizers as well as the recipients to spotlight struggles for food sovereignty and to celebrate the achievements of grassroots organizers in the US and globally. FSG will be 10 years next year as a civil society organization, and ironically, as mentioned by Comrade Kwesi Pratt, it was exactly in this building, the Freedom Center in Accra, during a conversation between himself and Comrade Ali Masmadi Jehuapia, that the organization was conceptualized. This international award comes at a time of reflection on the past decade and the contribution that Food Sovereignty Ghana has made to encourage and inspire responsible policy making, which will inure to the benefit of human health as well as that of animal life and the environment. FSG uses this auspicious occasion to reiterate our original position against the inclusion of genetically modified crops in Ghana's agricultural system. In particular, the warning is more relevant at this time when the government, through its agencies, have shown a clear intention to release genetically modified cowpeas into this country. The National Biosafety Authority, NBA, has approved an application for the commercial release of the GM cowpeas, officially handing over a deregulation permit to the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, a few years ago. The cowpea, locally known as beans, is a staple in the sub-regional diet of millions and a key ingredient in wachi, tubani, kose, red, just to name a few dishes. Our fundamental concern with this novel technology is the speed to market, with a clear lack of guidance from research on the effects of its consumption over an acceptable period of time. There exists no epidemiological studies of a long-term nature on the consumption of genetically modified cowpeas anywhere in the world. And so the claims by the pro-GMO lobby in Ghana of its safety are therefore not based on science and deliberately misleading to potential consumers who may have this as a valid concern before endorsing such a product for their families to consume. It is for this reason that we express sincere concern about the organization of sensitization workshops, such as the one that was organized in Kumasi recently, to engage the leaders of the Muslim community in promoting the safety of the new GM cowpea and the misguided use of the word halal by Professor Alassane. We urge key stakeholders and most of all Ghanaians in the public to show greater concern for what is happening to our food systems. Ghana's agriculture does not need GMOs. All the independent experts agree. In reference to the proposed release of a GM cowpea, there is no scientific consensus on the safety of GMOs. This is the position of independent scientists with expertise related to the subject and who have published in a reputed peer-reviewed scientific journal, as we have provided a link. Ghana's government must rather discourage the declining soil fertility through the use of dangerous agrochemicals and rather promote policy that will produce pliable roads from the farm gate to the market. They rather need credit extended from banks as farmers. They need investment in irrigation technology and post-harvest infrastructure.
That is a sentence of death for us. So all that has been said is that we need to have the capacity to grow our own seeds and to eat our own food. That's as simple as that. And this does not depend on anybody's quality. This is a fundamental right of all people everywhere in the world. And that is what Food Sovereignty Ghana has insisted on. That we have a right, it's a fundamental right, it's a right to life, it's a right to food, and that would not be compromised. That's all.
Of the Executive Council of Food Sovereignty Ghana and all the food sovereignty members in the diaspora. Let's congratulate ourselves and relax and enjoy.
So there must be something wrong with our policy making if these institutions have sided with our position, and yet we are struggling to get the government of Ghana to realize that GMO is not the way forward for Ghana. Concern is that we are here wanting to release a GMO cowpea. There has never been research done on this genetically modified cowpea to see what are the effects on a human being when you consume it for a certain amount of time. Don't you think that that would be the right way to approach it? If you're going to have a car on the road, the car is tested, is driven from here to Mali. They test the tires, they test the wiper thousands of times just to make sure that this car, if we market it and sell it to people, it's a responsible product. How much more for food that's going to go in our stomachs, that's going to be used for our bodies? There must be some evidence and research record that shows that it's safe. So we are against the move to try and make these GMOs seem safe. Until there's research to show it, please don't fool Ghanaians. And we take exception at the efforts made by some certain pro-GM stakeholders to influence the Muslim community in Ghana by telling them that the new cowpea is halal. It cannot be halal if it has been tampered with from its original form, and if the unknown consequences of consuming it are not known to people. Our ancestors used to farm without harming the earth. They farmed without damaging the rivers. They farmed such that the agama lizard was still there, the snails were growing on the farms, the mushrooms and so on. We need to go back to that kind of farming. That kind of farming was reflective of an environment which is healthy, which is in balance. Now you go to farms, you don't see mushrooms anymore, you don't see snails. This is a direct reflection of the fact that the ecosystem is extremely unbalanced, and it's a sign, a warning sign to us human beings at the top of the food chain, that when we see those down there disappearing, it eventually creep up to us. So we cannot have a country that is spraying glyphosate on its food. The spring onions, the lettuce, most of the salad vegetables that we eat, they are sprayed with these deadly cancerous pesticides. And we are seeing from Kolebu and our medical records an increase in child diabetes, child cancer. So surely Food Sovereignty Ghana must be saying something that the policymakers need to listen to. And that's why we're here. And this award vindicates the position that surely there must be something right we're talking about.
We started the GMO fight under Mahama, and all his ministers of Agric, the same song that they sang, is the same song that Nado's Agric minister. I was the one who sent a letter to Parliament for the government, Nado, not to accept the current Agric minister. But they ignored us. They ignored Food Sovereignty Ghana. And now we've seen one of the most useless, incompetent, he hate that word, but I'm using it. Incompetent, useless Agric minister that Ghana has ever had is that man. So for the government, we wish he hears. But before the government begin to hear, let the farmers who own the land, who benefit from the land, do the right thing.
Your name is Bashir.
My name is Evan Stavia. I'm the Deputy Communications Director at Food Sovereignty Ghana.
Thank you for watching Nation One TV. Kindly subscribe for more news updates.